Well, hello, welcome to Riverwalk. Pretty much everything about Riverwalk is the opposite of your traditional school of what you're used to. Everything from how we hire our teachers and to how our students here are taught. I'm sure that if you've heard anything about Riverwalk, you've heard about project-based learning and what is that? And I'm hoping to give you an inside peek today of what that's about. Project-based learning is more of a process and a culture here at the school. It's not just a poster that kids make and call it a project. They work collaboratively together. So when they're working in their teams, this works great on social skills. Sometimes you might have two leaders in a group, and we all know what happens when there's two leaders. They can butt heads a little bit. So this teaches the kids how to work through some of those social skills, because once they grow up and have a job, more than likely they're going to be running into that situation again. You also have situations where within your team there's no leader, and they all kind of sit there wondering who's going to take charge. So this is another opportunity for them to step up to the plate. So even our littlest lions here, our kindergartners, do projects as well, and they work together as a group. And so last month their project was endangered species, and they had to create a commercial to save the animal. So what they do is they find out what their assignment is, they go out separately and research it, and then they come back and collaborate, and they decide how they're going to present this to everyone. And not only are they presenting it to their peers, then when their parents and their grandparents and friends come in to visit, they are hearing it again. So the kids are hearing this repetitive information over and over again, which we find tends to stay with them more. Versus, I have a chapter quiz this week, so I'm going to memorize these words. And then after a month or two, they forget because they're just memorizing. At Riverwalk, you won't be seeing any desks in our classroom. We don't believe that there should just be lines of kids with the teacher teaching at them. We have tables for them to collaborate at. So in our classrooms, that's what you'll find. You'll find different types of seating. We believe that the students are individuals and they need to be treated as such. They learn with all different learning styles. Now, one of the words I use to describe Riverwalk is alive. Our school is very alive. It's not boring. There are certain times during the day where it will be quiet, and there are other times when they're working on their projects that it will be a little bit louder. We also have a great volunteer basis here. We really want parents to partner with us and become involved in your child's education. So as we go through here today, you will be seeing parents in the classroom, and we encourage you to be a part of that. We're going to take a peek at our upper building where our upper grades are. Currently, the kids are separated in two different buildings, but once we're at our new facility, they will all be under the same roof. We have PE. We have art and we have music that the kids have on a regular basis here. And we have many after-school activities that they can be involved in. We have something called Achieve Fitness. We have an acting class. We have special art classes, and we have bands that are offered to the students. Starting next year in our middle school, we will hopefully have sports. Everybody is wanting basketball, so we believe that we'll be able to offer those things in our new building. So one of the things we do here at Riverwalk Academy is every morning our kids gather together at 8:20 as they're being dropped off before school starts at 8:30. This is a time where we do some exercises to wake up their brains. We do some breathing techniques to get them to calm down, to get ready. They do the Pledge of Allegiance and things like that. So in just a minute, we're going to take you into a classroom where they're getting ready to do that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for
family. This is my school. Family, this is my school. Family.
Now wave to a friend. Wave to a friend.
Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Who is missing?
Thank you. And let me introduce you to our awesome, wonderful guidance counselor, Amberlynn! Yay! So at Riverwalk, we really encourage the parents to come be a part of what we're doing here and to volunteer. Some of them volunteer so much we need to offer them a cot or a place to stay because they practically live here. As you'll see down here, this is one of our parent volunteers. They do everything from helping with reading, helping with math, helping with work centers. So we'd love for you to come join us and help.
The boys really did a great job. They tried so hard, and some of them had it going. Oh yeah.
But as soon as we hit the match, we dominated.
But then when we came in here and did a math off, man, the boys were quick on those trapezoid formulas, like you would not believe.
I'm impressed.
It wasn't me.
All right, we're gonna go take a peek at one of our kindergarten classrooms. So this is Miss Partee, who is one of our kindergarten teachers here. And maybe you could tell us a little bit about what's going on.
So right now we're in the daily 5 process, and this is like our ELA block. So we do it in centers. Right now I'm testing one-on-one because we need to do our mid-year test for our reading levels and see where the kids are at. And most kids are either working on writing, or they're reading to themselves, or they're using technology to kind of get them ready for our upcoming tests and things like that. So everybody's doing something completely different, and it looks like chaos, but it's a lot of good stuff going on. So
Now, do they switch after so much time, or do they stay in the same spot?
after 15 minutes, we rotate, and they're really good at rotating, so they know where to go next, and they just do it flawlessly. It's really cool to see 5-year-olds in such a emotion right now. So
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you, Miss Partee, for letting us come take a peek at your classroom.
yeah, absolutely.
We have to walk around the room and find some letters to write on here.
Really? Well, what kind of letters? Did you find one yet? Show
Kind
me
of
what you
letters
found.
like these, and over there, 2 of those right
Oh,
there.
wow, right here, I see that.
And then one right here.
Oh my goodness. What's been your favorite job so far?
Pencil sharpener.
Pencil sharpener? That would be a really fun job. I think I would like that too. Well, thank you so much for helping us out. I wasn't sure what these were all about, so I wanted to ask somebody who knew. Thank you very much. You did good job. Why, thank you. I'm Mrs. Eagles. Good to see you.
I'll show you around.
You'll show us around.
I am working on this.
What are you working on? Let's see.
You can read this.
I can. Hi, how are you? What you got going on here?
Well, this is me being brave.
That's you being brave?
Yep. Why my bike without training?
Wow. We're going to take a peek at one of our second grade music classes.
Now let's get up and let's do our song, okay? Diddle, diddle, dee, do what I do after me. Stop, clap, sway, sway. Touch your toes, touch your nose.
And in a minute, we're going to enter the kindergarten classroom for their POL, their presentation of learning. These are some of the parents waiting to go in and see the presentations.
And then after they finish their books, they get to take you
Out there.
out in the hallway where we have a couple more museum pieces, and Mr. Lincoln is out there that you can get a cute photo with. Remember, tell them all you've learned, like they don't know what you're talking about. Act like they don't know.
So who is this about?
He was the first 16th president, and he was killed and shot at the movie theater.
Oh, and what was his name? I didn't hear. What is his name?
Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, so he was our 16th president? Wow. What else have you learned in here?
Washington was our first president.
Washington was our first president.
My book of poetry by
walk, walk, bus, procedures, sing, walking, smiling, pretty, kind, Miss Roddy. School. The S is for super, the C is for crayon, the H is for hungry, the O is for old, the other O is for open, the L is for late. Snowman. The S is for soda, the N is for normal, the O is for okay, the W is for winter, the M is for maid, the A is for awesome, and the N is for
What about the one, you know how? What about the one that is shaped?
So currently this is where we have our gym class. This is where we assemble together for any assemblies. And this is our multi-purpose room as well for lunch. Now we do have a hot lunch program at Riverwalk. It is more what we call fun lunch. It is on Mondays and Thursdays this year. And it consists of things like Chick-fil-A, Moe's, Marco's Pizza, and that kind of thing. Like I'm giving a tour, like when I gave you a tour when you first came. Remember that? Yeah. Miss Zenobia, what would you like to tell our families about Riverwalk?
It's the best school ever, and you can really have fun, and it's really good about learning.
There you go. She said it all. Thank you, Miss Zenobia.
You're welcome. All right, go ahead and get your materials out for Daily 5. We are going to do 2 or 3 rotations. So you'll need your writing notebook, your folder, and any books that you have to read.
And now I'm going to take you to meet our principal, Miss French. Well, hello, Miss French.
Hello.
We were hoping that you could share a little bit about PBL with us.
Absolutely. PBL stands for Project-Based Learning. It begins with a driving question, which lends to research and collaboration and ends in a presentation. Throughout the process, the children work through various modalities of research, including internet, books, so written text, audio text, the internet, whatever's available for that subject. The projects are really an amazing representation of what the children have learned. They can come back to us in the form of dioramas, posters, 3D models, paintings, songs, videos, PowerPoints, you name it. It's up to their creativity what they decide to bring back. When they present to their peers, then the students get an opportunity to learn the same material through all those modalities from each other. And that is so much better than a teacher standing at the front of the room teaching while a student takes notes and takes a test at the end of the week. We do have tests at the end of our projects, a paper and pencil test, and we have seen that the children are able to perform on those tests just as well as they would have, if not better, than they would if they had had that traditional teaching model. The difference is, since our children did the research and our children presented the material, it becomes in their long-term memory instead of their short-term memory. So the theory behind project-based learning is that the students remember the material long-term instead of short-term for Friday's test.
Now, you were talking about tests. In regards to that, do we still meet the same state standards? Does charter school have different standards? How does that work?
No, the standards are the same. We are a state-funded charter school, so we are accountable to all the state testing. We take the same SC Pass or ACT Aspire, whatever the state mandates that we take that year.
Could you introduce the person sitting next to you?
I would love to. This is Mrs. Erica McCrae. She is our full-time literacy reading coach. She works directly with our facilitators to ensure all of our classrooms are HPLC. I'm going to let her tell you what that is.
So HPLC stands for High Progress Literacy Classroom. It's where learners are engaged in authentic reading, writing, and research. It gives learners an opportunity to take ownership of their reading and their writing and their research. Learners are able to learn strategies and skills that will help them become effective readers and writers, and it prepares them for the 21st century.
You know, that's super important. We talk about the 21st century so much. The important thing to know about that is that we are preparing students for jobs that don't even exist yet. When I was in high school, I remember the first bag phone came out, and no one even knew who Verizon or Sprint or any of those guys were. But now we have Microsoft, we have Apple. But by the time our learners have graduated, those companies might even be obsolete. We don't even know what we're preparing them for, so it's so important at this level that we teach them to think outside of the box and for themselves, so that they can think for themselves to create what doesn't even exist yet.
I have one more question for you. Can you share with us about your room size at Riverwalk? Will we be finding 30 students in a room, 40 students in a class?
No, ma'am. Well, you may see 40 students in a classroom, but it's because we work collaboratively and we're all together. But our ratio is 23-1. We hope very much to keep that same ratio all the way through high school. It's very important to us to keep that small, close relationship with our learners so that we can continue to help them grow as much as possible.
Well, I'd like to thank you both for taking some time out of your day to share with us during this tour.
Thank you.
So our weekly schedule is Monday through Thursday is 8:30 to 3:05, and on Fridays we have a half day. We get out at 12:30. We do have a before school program. If you should need to drop your kids off earlier than that, you can drop them off as early as 6 o'clock, and that's free. And then we have an after school program as well, and that one you have to pay for, and that information is on our website. A lot of people ask what grades we go through, and for the fall of 2016, we will be kindergarten through 7th grade, and then each year we'll be adding an additional grade until we go to high school, so we will be having a high school. Welcome to what will be the future home of Riverwalk Academy at 5750 Mount Gallant Road in Rock Hill. We are very excited to see this all come to fruition. The scheduled date of the building being complete is supposed to be in May. Riverwalk Academy may not be for everybody, but if you think it's a good fit for your child, you can visit us at riverwalkacademy.com, click on the enrollment tab, and sign up your child. You can become part of the Riverwalk Academy family and find out why Riverwalk Academy is the place to be.